Hello, everybody. Rick Malero here. And honestly, I'm so excited. We just wrapped up an incredible mastermind, the Cash Flow Mastermind, where we get to hang out with high net worth individuals that are looking to literally grow their cash flow and find innovative ways to deploy their money, private lending being one of them. Today, with me, one of my passive investors, Russ. Say hello, my friend.
Hello, Russ Taylor here in Florida, sunny Bahama, California in March.
Yes, sir. It's a beautiful place. We're in a beautiful property that we funded recently, and we just have this privilege and honor to be here. This property is incredible. I love
Absolutely.
being in projects like this, Russ.
Absolutely.
It's
This is
just
gorgeous.
incredible.
This
It
is
expands your mind and it makes you
absolutely.
remember, what you do this for.
Absolutely.
With that said, speaking of what we do this for, we have a lot of audiences that are following us, trying to learn more about different strategies. And we found that a lot of these active investors, they're seeking for connections with individuals, not just a big bank. And
Absolutely.
so this network has allowed us to really introduce active investors with passive guys like you,
Okay.
so they can connect, have somebody they can call and do business with. So as we get started, Russ, why don't you give us a little bit of background of what have you done that led you to become the bank?
Well, I don't know how far back you want to go. I'm a retired person and I'm also a little long-winded, but I will say that my initial experience in the mortgage business, I lived in California back before the big crash, and I did mortgages when we did the 1% loans type of thing. Very exciting time. But when the crash came, all ended.
Yeah.
And so we went 10 years from that. Obviously, I did multiple other types of things. After I retired, then I saw this opportunity, and it was just from what it was almost like I felt what I learned in my first experience for those 6 or so years would be elementary to this
Mm.
experience. Often I've always thought, where does this guy get the money for these things you see? Like you talking about this project.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where does the guy start to even get a thing like this? I was never exposed to it, even though I was doing mortgages then.
Mm.
It was a limitation on, it's almost like it was a big secret. Like
Mm.
the people that know weren't telling it. And then hear Rick come on and he's going to tell you the game. It was like, oh, well, let me plug into Rick. Rick is telling the game on every one of your videos. Every time I saw a video, I'm like, wow, this is like being open to the secret, you might say,
Mm.
right? And having had the experience, I knew it's kind of like if you learned a sport and then you see a professional do it,
Mm.
then you know he really knows what he's, because you know the technique and the energy it takes to make that thing happen. So you're not watching it as amateur, you're watching it as a person who's had that experience and goes, you know how much training it would take to do that, or
Mm.
how much education it would take to know what you're saying is true. So having to have listened to you and watched you, I was all in. I thought this has got to be an incredible opportunity. I'm from a community, originally from Chicago, so grew up in the hood. I'm retired, so I'm seriously over 70 years old. So I've seen the world from a whole different place, and I've always had in my mind, oh, I wish I could do something to help improve communities that are vacant lots. The
Mm-hmm.
whole neighborhoods or streets for a mile on a commercial street is just empty, and people live there and they don't have access. And you think, well, how could you do something to help people not have to live like this? And to be honest with you, this is a dream come true for me.
Mm.
I always thought I wanted to be a Dr. King or a hero some kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
like leave a legacy. Like they go, oh, Russ Taylor was here. And that's about the biggest reward I'd like to have. I'd like to be able to leave it where you make somebody else's world or life better. And just listen to you. I've even, and many times personally, had conversation with you, and just to hear your very spiritual way of looking at sharing. I spoke to you earlier about
Mm-hmm.
being in a capitalist society where everybody's hungry for money and they make it their priority, and yet you share that kind of like we're paying monopoly money or something. It's like, does he know he's talking about real money, or is he, kind of a thing? And it's just a good feeling to be around. I mean, we had 40 people in our meeting, and just all the people I met were just so genuinely positive, good people wanting to be a team and want to work together. I just think I almost feel like it's just joined a family. In
Yeah.
fact, I teased you about calling you Papa Bear, right? Because really, at the end of our event, And I just told you, I says, I keep waiting for you to drop the bomb like, oh, this is really not what you thought it was. And we're going to pull the curtain down, right? And I really had to be honest with you, Rick. You made me feel like, and I had a wonderful father. I had the Cosby dad. Okay,
Mm,
really. I lived in the Cosby life. And to listen to you give an instruction and the detail you give, I says, he sounds like my dad. It'd be like, here's a guy my dad would want to tell me all his secrets to see
mm,
his son move forward. And I've kind of felt that way, the way you share in such a relaxed sort of, oh, but you're not beating on your chest, you're not one-upping anybody. Rick ain't better. Rick is, you're like this every time I see you. Never the suit and tie. Where's the $5,000 pair of shoes and the bling bling ring or something,
yeah.
watch or whatever. But you come off as very genuine and I met your wife, very comfortable people who just want to see people do well. And it's
Yes.
just hard to imagine that I'm not in a church or somewhere. Really, you should.
Thank
I
you.
don't want you to be a preacher because I want you to help me do my thing, but but no, this has been a wonderful experience. It
No,
really has.
I'm so glad to hear that, and that's a beauty of this network, right? Is we get to connect and then pool resources together
Yes.
to finance active investors.
All these specialists you've brought in the room who have had many, many years of working with you and being so casual with one another about, oh yeah, I want to share this, whatever town or whatever country city you're in. It just seems like an unbelievable thing.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sure if I haven't woke up yet. Really, just really
So
feels it.
speaking of that, because we want to bring a few investors to work with you,
Okay.
let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
So now that you're kind of in this network, you have access to additional resources and you can deploy your money at a different level, right?
Right.
Are there any specific markets that you prefer, or are you kind of just open-minded to go into any state or any market that the opportunity arises?
Well, opportunity, like I said, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised. I lived in Los Angeles for 40 years. I loved Los Angeles. I now live in Florida in a retirement stage. All of the communities I've lived in, to me, need a personal touch. It needs someone to come in and say, I've even spoken to a number of my real estate connections and I says, "Oh, I'm going to be the private money lender." And they go, when?
Mm,
Like, call me, like, let me know. I mean, you know where the money is, because it's been a secret. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? So I really feel like I could actually sit down with people and maybe transform some of these things we call ghettos into some
mhm,
very positive schools that have the things they need, the stores and the things that are missing to make because I think everybody just wants to have a decent life. You know what
agreed.
I'm saying?
Yes.
In the richest country in the world, well, why are there people that are hungry or don't have a job or and it doesn't seem like it should be that extreme,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know. And I'd like to be one of the people that I don't want to march now, okay, but don't want to do any of that. But I would like to be able to leave a legacy in there. No, so to answer your question specifically, Chicago is very much on my list. I have huge family in Chicago. I want to be the hero that comes in like Superman, like you were gone for 40 years, you come back and you can fly, right? And Los Angeles,
Yes, LA
my
needs it.
wife was actually a principal in Inglewood Elementary School, and that's another very depressed area.
Yeah,
So I know people in those communities personally. And now that I'm here in the Tampa area, this is kind of new to me, but Chicago and Los Angeles would be where I would take my heart and soul. Those
I
two
got it.
places I was spiritually,
Yeah, so if you're in Chicago, you're in LA, and even Florida, right? You're
even in
open-minded,
Florida. Oh, no,
so definitely
but I'm
looking
not leaving Florida. So yeah, definitely Florida for sure.
That's awesome. Do you have any specific type of funding that you like to do? Do you like flips, ground up? Does it matter?
I really want to do commercial lending.
Okay.
I really want to do commercial lending. I think that if you can bring jobs into communities,
Mhm.
then the rest of it kind of work itself out.
I like it. I like that. That's
You
awesome.
know,
So commercial is a good option.
absolutely, absolutely. If it was one area, but I've seen so many new type of constructions. In fact, I just saw. I do a lot of research on stuff because I'm very
Mhm.
much in. I bought a lot of properties in my life myself. Was kind of one of my sidelines for being in the state I'm in now. And I say to everybody, plan for retirement. It's a wonder. You'll find out America is a wonderful place when you can live that good life and don't have to work. It's worth the investment. But I wanted to say that just planning yourself and helping people. That's
Mhm.
really what it's all about. Making it a little simpler so we can all kind of, what did the guy say? So we can all just get along. right?
Absolutely.
So it's a beautiful thing, and I would really love to be able to share more of. I'm still amazed at all the things you still bring in that are even new. I mean, you've been doing this for years, and you're expanding right be in front of me, and I'm brand new to this
Mhm.
thing. So to be in that kind of a growth environment and to know that it will keep growing, that I think coming in with commercial, um, giving people jobs, and what I was going to lead to is I saw some construction recently on advertised where a guy comes in and he unfolds a
Mhm.
house from the bottom up, but they bring this what looks like boards
Mhm.
on a platform of a truck. They lay it down and then the walls go up like this. It snaps like a toy, and they put a roof on it and it's got a door already connected to it.
That's
And
crazy.
you literally can walk into the room and it's a house inside. And they just simply put the rooms inside and is they can make a two bedrooms out of them. And I thought to myself, there's the idea. Who's doing construction? You just buy a piece of land and just put 20 of these bad boys on it and then rent it out to people so they can get them off the street.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
So if
absolutely.
it doesn't cost you much to do that, then why would you charge them much of anything? You
Right,
know?
exactly.
And then and many of my family members who are in rentals, they do the government, what they call Section 8 type of
Mhm,
thing.
mhm.
So if you unfold in a house, how much could it cost you to do that? And how much would you charge for rent? And the government's paying for to take care of the person anyway.
Yeah, so
So I guess in my whole spirit is how to treat God's children, all God's children
mhm.
well. There's no reason why
I
we
agree.
have such great finances. Guys are talking about going to Mars and children can't get food.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I love your heart. I love that you're trying to find a way to fuel purpose with the investment business
Yeah,
and
it's got to
changing
be a purpose
communities.
to it.
So let me ask you a question, Russ. For an investor that says, "Hey, I want to be a part of something bigger than just deals," how do they get a hold of you?
Yes, right now, like I said, I'm in the Tampa area. My number is 310-848-0704. You can reach me anytime. I have my phone on at all times. Um, my email is Russell, Russell, T 1969 was a very good year, at gmail.com. So it's all in the process of being available.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sounds like a plan. Well, guys, if you're interested in hanging out with a super interesting man that has a much bigger purpose and he's got a deep wallet, call my man Russ.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm here for you for sure. Let's make the world a better place.